Welcome to day 501 of our Web3 journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian, and we have two very, very special guests with us today. We have Fed and we have Happy Penguin. Fed, Fede, you know him on DSO, and Happy Penguin is actually Nassim Al Naji, and he is Nader's brother.
We
How's it
we just
going?
spoke to Nader yesterday in a Zoom call, so we got both of the Al Naji brothers in 2 days.
There you go. Happy to meet you guys and excited for the show.
Yeah, so these guys right here, they are the creators of Pearl, and Pearl just launched in their beta. I guess you could call it the beta. It was like the early access, right? Last week, and we had the chance to check it out, and it's really an awesome app. I'm sure most of the community has seen it already. We're gonna get to them in just a little bit. First, we're gonna touch on some of the DSO news, and then we'll get into the interview. So yesterday, NFTz they added a new feature to their website. Of course, NFTz is the node run by Brian and I. We now show the top visited NFT zones on the website, on the app, in the last 24 hours. So if you're sharing your link, if you're krasenstein.nftz.me and you're sharing that link and you're getting views to your zone on, say, Twitter or Facebook, wherever you're sharing it, you're going to rank up higher in the daily most visited zone list. So it kind of is an incentive to get people to share their zones a little bit more.
Yeah, and we feel like this is kind of like a two-way street. It helps us by providing more traffic to us because people are going to be sharing their zones, but also the most active zones are going to get extra publicity as they bubble to the top.
Yeah, and also
Uh,
still staying on the topic of NFTZ, M. Van Halen, he actually minted the first NFT on a DeSo node that also shows up on Rarible and OpenSea. So yesterday he minted just an NFTZ logo using NFTZ, and though that NFT is also viewable on OpenSea or Rarible. Of course, it's an Ethereum NFT. A lot more coming on this in the next few weeks as we release this feature to the general public.
Yeah, so quickly on to Entra. Entra is having a giveaway. Entra, of course, is another DSO node. It's partially integrated with DSO. They're giving away 2 free pro memberships. And to enter, you got to upvote a post that they made. You got to comment on it saying which feature you'd like to see rolled out next. And there's two options. The first option is communities, a Slack Discord type feature for the public or private community slash team, and DM requests, which would be only users you're following will appear in your main inbox, and others will show in a separate request section. Winners are going to be announced on Friday, this Friday, August 12th. Check it out.
Yeah, and
Uh,
AI Mania, Brian. AI Mania was acquired by Menagem.
yeah, so Menachem actually required AI Mania from It's Aditya. AI Mania is really cool. It was the project where they're using DAL-E to generate these NFTs. It's an AI program with kind of built on the open AI framework. But it's a Dita said he decided to sell because he's working on so many other projects, and that's certainly the case. The project's now renamed Noun 141.
Yeah, so AI Mania is now Noun 141. You can still mint your NFTs and take part in the project using that username. And Invest in Digital yesterday said that DeSo has been nominated for a Smoothie Award. Smoothie is a Discover to Earn award platform. You basically get rewarded for upvoting the best new crypto projects out there. It only takes a minute or so to vote. So if you haven't already, be sure to go over to smoothie.so and vote for DeSo. Every vote counts. There's actually a link directly to the project, the DeSo project on Smoothie above this video, on DeSo below it on YouTube. So be sure to do that if you haven't already. And also DeSo, they kind of tease that their new website, DeSo.com, is coming very soon. The DeSo account, in replying to a Brutal post, said, quote, new website is very close. And that was a post by Brutal suggesting that DeSo remove some of the, quote, dead projects on the DeSo.org website. There's some listings for projects that aren't really around anymore. He suggested they remove it. And DeSo, they said, well, we have a new website coming. They won't be there then.
Yeah, so Nader, he held a Twitter space, or he is part of a Twitter space where 1,000+ listeners were there at any given time. It was called Community Project Discoveries, Episode 6. I don't know a whole lot about the background of this Twitter space, but I did go into it. And at the time I went into it, there was, I think, like 1,300 people in it, maybe even more than that. It was really awesome. Definitely trying to get the word out about DSO.
Yeah, and so who were the top bidders on NFTs in the last 24 hours, Brian, according to NFTz?
Yeah, so they are as follows: NFT Pets, Studio Richards, ZN Mead, Vesna Sularin, Morbid, Garbo, Diso NFTs, Nigels, Kevin Sod, and Jeremy G. And the top Diamond Day creators, according to Altumbase over the last 24 hours, we were actually number one, followed by Lil Lover, Nagardis Hingu, Disruptpreneur, Shady Acres, Ben Ursing, Manrick Photo, Happy Rabbit, and Panini and OEPA. And I know I say that name
It's
wrong every
our
time.
Pete.
Our Pete.
Congratulations, everybody. So moving on, now we get to talk to Happy Penguin and Fed. Uh, you guys are DSO OGs. Happy Penguin, you're actually Nader Al-Naji's brother, so you're the founder, the brother of DSO, or the brother of the founder of DSO. And you guys have been behind Pearl. Pearl's kind of been a project that everybody's been waiting for, I guess it's been over a year now. It was first Gem, and now it's Pearl. And it's finally out. It's finally out in early access. And like I said earlier, Brian and I had a chance to check it out, and it's really an awesome project. It's basically like an Instagram for Web3. Is that how you guys would explain it?
Yeah, I think at a high level that kind of sums up the initial vision and kind of the test that we're going out to market with. And really, the goal is to see if we can take some of the features that DSO makes possible and that people are really excited about in Web3 and package it up in a way that the mass market can engage with it, can have access to it, and ultimately turn broader crypto into something that's a little bit more mainstream. We're starting that by going after the Instagram market for a whole host of reasons that we can get into, but still very early stage in terms of the products. There's lots of new features that we're excited about, and I'm sure we'll touch on some of those in this conversation.
Yeah, I had a chance to play around with it. I love it. I definitely think that it's going to appeal to kind of the non-crypto world, but maybe bring them onto crypto and DSO in general. What can you say? Like, what are your plans? Like from here on, like right now, you're obviously in this beta rollout where early access and everything, but where do you see yourself in like 3 months, 6 months, a year from now?
Yeah, I think definitely as Fed touched, we want to be hitting the mainstream. When DSO was originally BitClout, we saw massive amounts of attention on the app from people who had never picked up crypto before. We really want the app to be so easy to use. So over the next few months, we're going to be adding tons of different features for creators to monetize in ways that they never have on other apps that exist out there. And we also intend on working a ton on our feed algorithm, making it open source so that people decide how content is shown. Today it's a complete black box, and fighting with the algorithm is something a lot of people struggle with. So
Can you tell us what any of these features may be, or are you kind of keeping them private for now?
we're definitely happy to share some of them. Something we've alluded to for a long time is exclusive content. So being able to make a post that only your coin holders or subscribers can see. So that's something that's coming out in the near future. It's actually complete. We're just getting it approved by Apple. And something that's really exciting there, it'll be the first feature on Pearl where if you're holding somebody's creator coin, you get a portion of their earnings from exclusive content. So that's something that we're really excited to roll out, and it's easy to use and really fun.
So
I
the
love
creator
that.
coin might be reborn then. I think that's good to know.
I think that's exactly what the creator coin needs, is like a way to kind of fundamentally evaluate it based on what the earning potential is rather than just speculation. So I love that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I come from a finance background, and I kind of have to wrap my head around creator coins in the early days of BitClout, with this future promise of them being worth something at some point, but no one was really building kind of the rails necessary to make that a reality. So There's plenty of features that we can also layer onto that. It's not just necessarily subscriptions, but things like paid DMs, exclusive content, all of that can feed that ecosystem and make it look like something that's a little bit more, has some more intrinsic value there.
That's something I remember, paid DMs. There's a lot of talk about that in the early days, but never actually materialized anywhere. So I think that's something the community would like to see. And I think that has a potential to bring a lot of big time celebrities onto the platform, knowing that, they can earn an income by just answering DMs.
Yeah, and it's a no-brainer. I mean, we've looked at the data. OnlyFans does a ton of volume just purely through that feature, and there's a lot of other platforms that have experimented with it. So we'll kind of see what else we add to it. But I think as long as there's a strong ecosystem of features that can feed the creator coin, basically, we're excited about what that can bring.
So what about diamonds? Is that going to be possible with Apple?
Yeah, I mean, I guess specifically, you mean diamonding a post?
Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, diamonds as they're implemented today are against Apple's guidelines. So, we are thinking adding the ability to diamond somebody on their profile, where it's not as easy as like doing it on their post. But unfortunately, it wouldn't be possible on the mobile version, per Apple's guidelines.
So you talk about a mobile version. Does that mean a desktop version's coming soon?
Well, it is something that we will eventually have, but for now we're sticking to mobile, iOS and Android.
We're potentially gonna rework some of the way the creator coins are set up, in the sense that the bonding curve incentivizes some behaviors, which I'm sure we all saw in the early days of BitClout, that aren't necessarily the best for the community. And so we have some ideas, more to come on that front, but ultimately I think the goal is to make creator coins work for all parties in the ecosystem in a way that doesn't necessarily force dumping or make it a zero-sum game for everyone.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the creator coins, and like some people think the bonding curve's too steep and whatnot.
Well, we'll share more about our kind of plan there in the next few months, probably.
Yeah, that's exciting for sure. I know a lot of people, they remember DeSo or BitClout back when the creator coins were just super, like, it was just exciting. And I think like now there's such little activity around creator coins. Anything to bring that back would be big. So like going back several months, I guess it was probably more like 6 or 8 months, you guys made the change from Gem to Pearl. What was the reason for that change?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few hiccups along the road. So Gem happened to be being used by a previous cryptocurrency company, related company. I think they're like Gem APIs or something like that. So more or less we had difficulty getting the trademark for the name Gem. So we decided to shift to the name Pearl, which was a close second. I think Fed, actually, you came up with Pearl
after many sessions of trying to come up with alternative names.
Yeah,
I like Pearl. Pearl's good.
Yeah, definitely. So we shifted the name to the name Gem, and we had originally a much earlier release time, but we could also talk through some of the hurdles with our launch date as well. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so one of the main things we ran into early on, which we're really proud we eventually overcame, is integrating with the US financial system. So I don't know if many people know this, but on Pearl, you can actually buy and sell DeSo and creator coins with your bank account. And it's like, there are actually very few apps out there that allow you to do that short of exchanges. So that was extremely rewarding, and I think it's huge for the ecosystem. Second of all, we ran into a couple issues with Apple getting approved by the App Store, despite having an entire legal team approve us for basically Apple's guidelines and pre-reviewed us. we ended up getting reviewers that weren't able to actually interpret their own guidelines. So Apple's review process, took us a little while, but we're happy to finally have gotten through it.
So what did that involve? Like getting ready for the U.S. financial system. Like, what did you have to do?
Ed, you want to take this one?
Yeah, there's the technical side, which I'm sure Nassim can expand on. But basically, we work with a third party vendor that has MTLs in all 50 states, and basically what that allows us to do is purchase and sell DSO through an exchange and just give the end user kind of the result of that trade. So it prevents the situation, which I'm sure we're all familiar with, where we have to go on blockchain.com, purchase DSO, transfer it over to your account, which most mainstream users are going to have a lot of trouble with. And so we wanted to simplify that onboarding experience so that anyone, it was as easy as connecting your bank account through Plaid. You could buy DSO and you could kind of interact with the blockchain and participate in the social ecosystem.
And it lets you get around that KYC stuff then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to KYC. It's if the way we're approaching it is it's a legal requirement that if you kind of participate in these transactions for users, you have to make them KYC. There's all sorts of tax implications there.
So talking about money and finances, can you tell us anything about your seed round, your pre-seed round? I know like when you guys first kind of made your way onto DSO, there are rumors that you got like a $40 million valuation. Is there anything you can tell us about that or no?
Yeah, our valuation isn't public. We raised $6 million. Reputable investors, Standard Crypto led our round, Distributed Global was part of it as well. We have some partners from Dragonfly in the cap table. Naval put in a small check as well. So really good group of folks. They've been great to work with thus far.
Yeah, sadly, we fundraised before the Octane Fund, so we are not an Octane Fund company.
That's interesting, being that you're Nader's brother.
I know.
He didn't see that one coming. He didn't tell you. He didn't give you any inside information about that.
Well, we also thought it would be better to kind of validate the idea with investors new to the ecosystem as well. So, our lead, Standard Crypto, they were completely new to like investing in the DSO ecosystem. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what type of marketing do you guys have planned? Do you have a plan in place? How do you plan to bring people from outside of DSO, outside of the Web3 crypto space onto Pearl?
Yeah, so there's really two main prongs to that. On one hand, there's the focus on the creators, which I think we're planning on running a creator accelerator. So basically using all the creators that we've met over the past year in and around the DSO ecosystem, as well as net new ones, and run a session where we teach them about Web3, where we show them kind of what Web3 is about and how we fit into it, and use that as an opportunity to kind of gather interest, find folks who are really excited about these types of products, and bring them on board early on onto Pearl and have them start posting, gathering, using user feedback, etc. So that's kind of the funnel that we're looking at on the creator side. On the user side, once we kind of feel like we've taken in all the feedback from our creator partners and gotten the product to a really good point, the goal after that is really to just go as mainstream as possible. So once those early signs are there, we've already had conversations with PR agencies, etc. And the goal will be to just try to blast this as wide as possible once we see it working, basically.
Yeah, I love that. I think that we definitely need a node that's really bringing on people from outside the DSO, not just like appealing to people inside the DSO. And I really think that Pearl is probably that node. And I think that Nader talks about the killer app all the time. I think you guys definitely have the chance to be that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, like I think if you can get like a big time celebrity, not even a big time celebrity, just somebody who has a lot of followers on Instagram or even Twitter, to come on
Mhm.
board and kind of like start making most of their posts here and letting their community know that they can kind of share in their revenues by investing in their creator coin on Pearl. I think that will bring the users in itself, and then it kind of could explode from there.
Definitely. I think we're talking to a lot of creators that are pretty interested in getting into the space. And um I definitely think, with Pearl and honestly what the DSO team's built here, there's just so much potential. So we're really excited. And we also recently hired a head of marketing who started, and she's extremely experienced and um, ready to take things to the next level after early access.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So, is there any final statements or anything you want to talk about before we let you guys go? I know you guys are busy.
I think, just you know, to the people on DSO, we're really excited to keep, pushing out features, and exclusive content is on the way. You know, it's just like so incredible how loyal like the community's been, and you guys have an incredible show. Excited to build something great, and leave us a review on the App Store if you get a chance. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we'll be sure to do that. And I think it was interesting. You mentioned that you can buy creator coins with US dollars, and I didn't realize that after using the app. I didn't even realize that. So I'm going to go check that out, and definitely going to be leaving you guys a review. I think everybody else should as well. And whenever you have any news updates or anything you want to talk about, feel free to hit us up and come back on our show. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.